Hey y'all, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. It is 5:30, so we want to get started on time. This webinar is going to last 30 minutes. Will not be taking up too much of your time. Thank you everybody for joining. So let's get started. Okay, so today I just want to go ahead and tell you may want to get paper, pen. I don't know. If you're that kind of person, you want to take notes, you may want to take some notes. So welcome to the Basics of Business Branding webinar. This webinar is presented by Passion and Purpose University. This webinar is really like a 6-hour session, but I decided I wanted to pull some information out of the session that will only take like 30 minutes that might will help some people with branding their business. Today, we're going to talk about the components of branding. We're going to talk about what branding is, and we're going to talk about the purpose of it and why you need to do it for your business. I may go fast, so if you have questions or comments, you can leave a question. You can put a question or whatever in the chat. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about who I am, and then we'll get started with the material. So I am Donna Knight. My professional career includes working 20 years in healthcare. I have a bachelor's in health information from the University of Mississippi and a master's in public health from Jackson State University. My roles in healthcare included administration, director of institutional research, all the way to privacy officer. But I retired from that career last year to pursue entrepreneurship and writing and speaking full time. My husband and I together, we have 5 businesses. One of those includes a nonprofit organization. I am also a business mentor and coach for the organization called SCORE. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of that organization, but they are a nonprofit organization who is partnered with the Small Business Administration, and they provide help for people with small businesses. So I am one of the mentors and coach for the Memphis area for that organization. I live here in South Haven, and my mission is to teach people how to walk in their passion and in their purpose. Because starting a business or starting anything can be really scary. So I just like to help people, with their businesses. All right, so let's talk about what branding is and what the definition of branding is. So there are several definitions of branding out there. Wikipedia has one, dictionary has one, Indeed has one. So there's several definitions, but I'm just going to talk about the components of it that I think are applicable to a business. So Indeed says that it's the process where a business makes itself known to the public and differentiates itself from the competitor. Branding typically includes a phase or phrase, design, or idea that makes it easily identifiable to the public. I really like Indeed's definition. My definition of branding is a story or mission that makes an idea or concept distinctively different and appealing to a mass group or audience. So, proper branding ensures that you're connecting with the right client because every business is not for everybody. And so that's one of the things when you're going into business, you kind of think that you have to make your business appealing to everyone so that you can have customers. And that's not necessarily true. You, in the beginning phase of your business, you design what you want your target customer to be. You get to choose that. So that way, when you come up with your brand, you are connecting with the right client because you already designed what you want that client to look like. So, and one way to do that is when you are coming up with your business plan. So that's one way to sit down and design what you want your target customer to look like. So you actually need to be able to visualize your customer. You need to be able to picture the customer in your mind. And when you're able to do that, then you can develop a story, and a brand that caters to that customer. And then your service and your product is the highlight of that story. So I think that's an important concept to get, because it can be overwhelming when you're trying to develop something for everybody. And it can also be overwhelming when people give feedback about your business, and the feedback, sometimes the feedback may not be helpful to you, because when you get the feedback, you may say, well, that's not what I was trying to do. So that is a way of knowing that you're not connecting with the right client. And one way to know that is by the feedback that you're getting. So if you get feedback and the feedback is not helping you to develop your business, then you're not connecting with the right client. So you may want to take a step back and say, okay, let me see who my target audience is. And that needs to be defined in your business plan. We'll talk about that a little bit more in just a minute. Okay, so now let's talk about the components of branding. I hate that my slides are all the way over here. I have to keep turning my head, but anyway, the components of branding. So I like the components of branding that are defined by Forbes magazine, and they give 4 key components of branding. Now, sometimes we think that branding is just, how the business will be marketed, and we look for the marketing campaign to give life to the business. So when I say marketing campaign, I mean like your flyers, your 30-minute pitch, your 30-second pitch, what you tell people, your elevator pitch. So all of that is included in your campaign. So we think that campaign gives life to the business, but really that's the opposite way we should be thinking. Really, you need to know the fundamentals of your business. And when you get those outlined, then that gives life to your marketing campaign. All right. So the 4 components are: first is experience, second is differentiation, the third component is image, and the fourth component is mission. Now, the full course, the full Basics of Business Branding course, it will go live September the 30th. So I'll send you all a link, and you will be able to access the course. The full course will go through each component, break it down, give you the components of the components and how to apply that to your brand. But today we're just going to go through it. We're not going to have time to go through every component. But again, the full course will go live September the 30th, and then you can access that and apply it, to your business. All right. So experience is how your customers interact with your brand and how it makes them feel. So that's the experience. And that is something you get to create as the owner and CEO of the business. You get to create the experience. So what kind of experience do you want your customers to have? So whatever type of business you have, if you have a jewelry business, if you have a salon, whatever type of business you have, you get to create an experience for your customers. And customers can appreciate an experience. They can appreciate a brand that has a message, and not something that's kind of just haphazard stuff, kind of just everywhere, like no true image or message. But every product that you create with your name and logo on it should be a representation of your experience. Do you want your customers to have an elegant experience? Do you want your customers to have a fun experience? Do you want them to have a experience where they are something spiritual? What kind of experience do you want your brand to have? And then think about why. Why do you want that experience? And stick a pin in that, because we're going to come back to that in just a second. All right. The next component is differentiation. So differentiation is what sets your brand apart. Because let's just face it, everybody's not going to go into a market that's never been tapped into. We're just not. Like, you're going to go into a market where there's going to be other people doing the same thing as you. Like, I'm not the only person with a beauty store. However, I have an all natural beauty store. So it's one of the only ones in South Haven. So you have to think about something that can make your brand different, because that will make you stand out. So if you make jewelry, what is it about your jewelry that's going to make it stand out? What is going to make it different? So it must be something the customer can't duplicate. It must be something they can't duplicate, because that's going to draw the excitement and the attention to the brand if it's something that they can't duplicate. So if you have a restaurant, it could be a recipe. It could be something that you cook that's better than anyone else. It's different than anyone else. I mean, I'm a Food Network fanatic. Okay. I love the Food Network, all the cooking shows. I love them. And it's so many restaurants like all over, and they all have so many things that are so different. And you're going to be like, wow, I want to go and check that out. I want to go and eat that. So, differentiation is a game changer for your business. So, whatever when you're coming up with your brands, and that's why I really wanted to do this webinar, because I get a lot of people when they talk to me about their business or starting their business, they don't have a true foundation or plan to the business. So, what that is going to do, that is going to aggravate you. Like down the road, when people start hearing about your business and they start purchasing your products, when you don't have a true foundation under you, you're going to be stressed out. You're going to be like all over the place. And then next thing you know, you're going to stop. You're going to stop because you're going to get overwhelmed. So I want to encourage you to go ahead now and take the time, just a couple of hours each day. If you're in the beginning phase of your business, or even if you're in the execution phase and you feel like there's some components that you may have left out, it's okay to pause and go back and say, let me make sure that I have a good plan in place for my business, a good business plan, and some good strategies, because you don't want to get aggravated and frustrated down the road and have to stop. And then the next thing you're going to be doing, you're going to be stopping and starting your business. So what is it going to do to your business? You're not going to be consistent. So customers are not going to take your business seriously. So make sure that you have a good plan and you're considering all the pieces. And if you need help, ask for help. Okay, so that's differentiation. All right, the third component of branding is image. So your image is the external image of your brand. What people see when they encounter your brand. What do they see? What does your brand look like? What are the colors? All of those things you have to take into consideration. Now, I want to encourage people to take image seriously. So, you can go on different apps and pick logos and color schemes and things of that to that nature, and say, and it's just something that you can mark off your to-do list, like, okay, that's done, got the logo. But what I want to encourage you is take true consideration into your logo and to your brand. Now, I go through this in great detail in the full course. So it'll really be mapped out for you how to do this. And it explains to you like what colors to choose for your business. Colors have meaning. Like green. Green represents harmony. Green represents liveliness. So every color has a meaning. Yellow represents passion. So when you're coming up with your brand experience and you say, I want people for my brand, I want it to feel rejuvenating. I want it to feel relaxing, for your product. You want to pick colors that coincide with that experience. So you can't say you want your brand to be relaxing and rejuvenating, but you have hot pink on your logo. Because hot pink represents more, hey, in your face. So your experience that you're trying to create should match the image of your brand. the name, the shapes, even shapes. You want to be careful with the shapes that you're picking, because the shapes in your image can distort your brand experience. And these corporations like Walmart, all of these corporations, when I went to a I can't remember who did that summit, but I went to a business basic summit. And these corporations spend millions, and it takes them months to develop a logo. Like something that we small business owners are probably doing in 5 to 10 minutes, they are taking months to do, because that's just how serious the process is. And that's just how much they want to connect with the consumer and pull the consumer in. So once they pinpoint that image and the image coincides with the brand experience, the next thing they're going to do, they're going to be throwing feed all over here, over there, Facebook, YouTube, because the more you see it, then you're going to start connecting with it, or the ideal customer or the ideal client is going to start connecting with it. Oh, I see y'all comments. Hey, y'all, I was not even looking over here at my comments. But yeah, the ideal customer, they're going to start connecting with that. So I want to encourage you to like really take time to focus on what you want that true image of your brand to represent. And like, don't think like, oh, you don't have to put that much into it. Like every component of your logo should represent a story for you. Like if you have a diamond shape in your logo with your name inside, there should be a reason you chose that diamond shape. It has to represent something. And then we're going to talk about why, that is so important in just a minute. I want to be very careful with my time because I don't want to hold you guys over. And I'm a talker. Boy, I'm talking. So I don't want to go over the 30 minutes because I want to be mindful that you all have to get on with your evening. Okay, so that's image. And then the last thing, and I'm going to spend a little extra time on this, is mission. So, okay, so the mission of your brand. So I think, and you guys comment if I'm wrong, but I think a lot of people don't spend time on creating a mission for their business. What do y'all think? Do people spend a lot of time like trying to really sit down and think of a mission, especially a small business? Do people really do that? I think it's very important. Yeah, most people are using AI. That is so true. People connect with that stuff too. Because that you're gonna see it so much, you're just gonna go on and click or go on and buy. Because you see it on TikTok all the time. Okay, so the mission, vision, and values should be outlined in your business plan. So if you have questions about your business plan, you guys can email me, and I'm going to give you my information at the end if you have questions about your business plan, because I know things like that can be overwhelming or what have you, but you do need to have one, because when you want to apply for grants or loans or anything to that nature, at the bare minimum, you're going to have an executive summary of your business. And the executive summary is the beginning of your business plan. Yes, your mission should be honest. I love that. It should be honest. So if you have questions about your business plan, you can contact me at the end, because we're not going to talk about it today. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is to get clear about the mission and vision for your business. So the mission is very important, because the mission says why you're in business, why you're doing what you're doing, who are you doing it for, and why you are doing it for them. So people that want to invest in your business, those are key things they want to know. They want to know, like, okay, who are you helping? Why are you helping them? How are you going to help them? They want to know that before they give you any money. They want to know, like, what's your mission, vision? What's your long-term goals for your business? Where you see the business in 2 to 3 years? And you can't explain those things if you don't have like an outline and a business plan laid out that you can put eyes on. Now, I'm not saying that you won't pivot from the business plan. I'm not saying that things in the business plan won't change. When I started my nonprofit organization in 2012, I think the business plan I think the business plan probably changed like 4 or 5 times. I remember every time we would have a board meeting, like I would go back to the drawing board, like, wait a minute, I think I'm going to change this in my business plan because I don't like the way that is going. So I'm going to change it. You can change it. But the thing is, having that in place is so instrumental in like building your business and having people take your business serious. It helps so much. I know with my nonprofit, when we started getting funding, I mean, to have that business plan and for people to say, oh, you have a solid business plan, that meant the world to me because well, not me, but the board and I, we had worked so hard, on that plan. And so it really meant so much. Okay. So, all right, we're going to the mission. Now, there are a lot of organizations like hospitals. They are very true to having missions and having a mission statement and a vision and value statement in place because the capacity of the hospitals, they kind of have to have those things in place and they have to have, it's a hospital in every corner. So a hospital needs that in place so that people will want to come there because they'll connect, with that mission statement. So having said that, that's an edge that you can have. When people know your mission and why you're in business, they won't care about the product. I mean, well, they will, but they won't care about the product if you have a mission statement that people can truly connect to. And I have an example. There is this t-shirt business in South Haven, and the guy who started the business, the CEO, this was a business that he just started in his spare time, that he was trying to, it was just something he believed in. So what he wanted to do was help families who were trying to adopt children. So I did not know this, but adopting children is very expensive. So families that needed help with the funding, he wanted to provide an avenue to be able to help them fund their adoption. And if I'm not mistaken, he also was helping families with chronically ill children. He wanted to be able to help them pay their hospital bills and also fund their adoption. So he came up with a t-shirt business where he would design a t-shirt with an exclusive design for the family, like very specific to them, their family, with their message on there. And they could sell the t-shirt, and the proceeds from the t-shirt would go to helping them with complete their adoption process. That's a powerful mission. Like, yeah, you can think, oh, it's just a t-shirt business. Well, yeah, I'm selling t-shirts, but my mission is family and children. That's my who. And my what is helping those in need if they're trying to complete an adoption. And why? It's so that their children can be well and that they can have that addition to their family. People are going to connect to that mission. So since he started that business doing it part-time after his full-time job, now the business does almost all the print for the schools, churches. They do t-shirts, hats, they do full marketing schemes and brands for all. They have almost all the contracts, especially with the private schools in this area. And it just started as just a simple t-shirt business. But the mission was so powerful. And the mission was something that people really connected with. And people, as soon as you tell somebody that, a person's going to say, what can I do to help? So that's why I'm saying to you, you think, oh, my business is small. All I do is, I just make earrings. I just make earrings. But why? Why do you make those earrings? What experience is your earrings bringing? Why did you have the idea to do that? People want to know that, and you need to have that written down, and you need to have that where you can send that to anyone who may be interested in your business. People put their mission statements on their websites. That should be something that people should know about your business, is we're in business because of this. So the mission statement is so powerful. And if you haven't, come up with your mission statement, or you kind of just, glazed over that, I want to encourage you to take the time to go back and revisit that. Go back and revisit your mission statement and really put some thought into why you're in business. That is going to change everything for your brand, because now, if you're coming up with a flyer for your brand, now if you don't have, your logo, you don't have your brand experience, you don't have your image, you don't have your differentiation, you don't have your mission, you're trying to like go through Canva or whatever app you use to do your flyers, and you're like just looking like, let me see what kind of what kind of flyer am I going to pick for this. But when you have a true scheme for your business, a theme, an experience, a brand, a color scheme, when you have all of those things already in place, finding your flyer is easy. When you want to do an ad for the radio, or when you want to do a commercial for TV, and they're going to be hitting you with a million questions. They're going to want to know what's your experience, what's your mission, what's your this, what's your that. When you have all of that in place, it's a one-click email that you get to send to the marketing president to put your story together. It makes everything so much easier when you have all of those things in place. Okay, so we have 4 minutes left. I told you it was going to be so fast. I told you. We didn't even get to go over everything, but I want you guys, if you have any comments or any questions, go ahead and put those in the chat, and we can and I can read those comments out loud. I'm going to go ahead and give you all my contact information. So if you have questions or whatever, after, you probably already have my email. You should have my email because the automated emails came from my email. So that's dknight1482@gmail.com. On social media is at Donna E. Knight on all social media. Passion and Purpose University goes live September the 30th. Basics of Business Branding is one of the courses in that school. So you can absolutely, on September the 30th, you will get an email letting you know that it's live, and you can go in and access this full course. So the full course will break down each component that I just touched on today. It's going to be broken down in the full course, so that you will be able to work with it on your own independently. All right, so I appreciate everyone for joining. We don't have any comments coming in. Everyone has my contact information. So again, I appreciate you guys for joining. This will be posted on YouTube Live. If you want to go back to it, it will be posted tomorrow to YouTube. So if you want to go back to it, if you want to share it with one of your fellow entrepreneur buddies that that's in your master group, then yes, feel free to share it with them. If you don't have a master group, get you a master group. You need one, being an entrepreneur, because it can be lonely, and it can be hard sometimes, and you need a person that you can call and bounce ideas off of. So that really really helps, because it can be a lot, and you do need a support system, and you do need a team. Hey, Ladidra, I love this. I learned so much. I'm so glad that you did. I hope this really helped someone. I just tried to do something because I know I get so many questions, and a lot of people really do, want to be pointed in the right direction. And I just wanted to share some information. You guys share the webinar. We have 1 minute left. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to follow my YouTube channel. I appreciate you guys, and you guys have a great night.